Let's start with the basic fundamental of Prince2. There are 7 processes within Prince2 itself, which, as you know, are our SU, startup, starting up project process, directing a project process, or DP, our initiating a project process, IP, our managing stage boundary, MSB, our controlling stage, our managing product delivery, and of course, our closing a project process. Those are the 7 processes that we have. Each process serves a distinct purpose. Basically, each process tells you, if you cannot understand, think of each process as a room within a house. Each room in your house has its own function. The bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, and so on. You know, the purpose of the bedroom is to sleep, and the purpose of the kitchen is to cook your meal. If you understand the purpose of each of those rooms, then you know what sort of activities can take place there. You know who is allowed there, and you know what is needed for that activity to happen. That is the same way you need to perceive each of your process. They have their well-defined purpose, and if you know what those purposes are, then you can understand what role will be needed to fulfill that purpose, what documentations will be required to fulfill that purpose, what tools and techniques will be required to fulfill that purpose, and what the output of that purpose is going to be. So it allows you to it's almost like a compass that allows you to know where you are within your project at any given time. As it says here, if you understand the purpose of a process, you can easily understand the roles, the tool, the documentation needed to fulfill that precise purpose. And that's some of the things we're going to be going through in this course. It says the processes can be integrated within stages, but they are not the same as stages. The stage is where your processes operate, but they are not entirely the stage. They're not the stage themselves, just as the bedroom does not make up the house. The bedroom is part of the house. In order for Prince2 processes to work, you need a minimum of 2 stages to fit all of your processes into. The SU traditionally is part of your pre-project, so it is not a stage. So SU, the whole SU process and all the things being done is never considered to be part of a stage. So if you look at this division as we see right here, there are only 2 stages because the SU is not a stage and the DP, which, oh, by the way, I keep using an acronym. The SU stands for starting up a project process, and the DP, directing a project process, is also not a stage. It operates as a process. So your stage is the length of time it takes from the start of a particular stage to the end of that stage. Do you getting the go ahead for that stage? So there are only 2 stages here, stage 1 and stage 2. And within these 2 stages, well, we can fit all the other processes within our initiating a project process, our managing stage boundary, MSB. So far we have 4 because SU is not a process and DP is not a process. So we now have 4 processes in stage 1. In stage 2, we have our controlling the stage, that's another process. We have managing product delivery, that's another process within a stage. And finally, we have closing the project process, our CP. So when we count it, we can now see that all the 7 processes that we have initially is now filled within 2 stages. So it's important to understand that processes are activities that operate within a stage, but they are not staged themselves. You can have multiple processes within a stage, as you can see in particular in stage 1. You have both your IP, initiating a project process, as well as your managing stage boundary, both operating within stage 1. And if you look at stage 2, you have 3 different processes operating there, such as your controlling the stage process, your managing product delivery, as well as your closing the project process. As I already say, a stage represents the length of time from start of the stage to the stage boundary. And you need a minimum of 2 stages, we already stated, to fit all your 7 processes in. There are no maximums of the number of stages you can have. So if there were another stage to accommodate this, basically, instead of this being a closed project process, this will be another stage boundary, and this will be another CS, MPD, managing product delivery, and finally, this will be the close of the project process. So, that is the basic fundamental of Prince2. In the next slide, we're going to continue with our next, with defining each of our processes. And I'll see you then.